railroad tracks, so we're just gonna floor it.
And that's the sure-footed. We get the ability to put all the events one after the other. But when you're on the road, you may run from one surface and then transition into the next.
You know, this has a lot less push to it. And I don't know if that's because of the all-wheel drive system, but the front end isn't plowing half as much as it was on the bigger Charger. Is that because of weight distribution?
There's also wheelbase plays a big part of that.
Yeah.
So the ability to rotate the car, initiate that rotation.
Yeah, it feels a lot more frisky if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's okay.
Of course, we can't get too frisky because we have a power wagon ahead of us. Now you've got every FCA vehicle here that has all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, right? And there's all kinds of different setups, right? You've got front-wheel drive setups, you've got rear-wheel drive setups. What's the difference between a front-wheel drive setup, like let's say a Renegade, right?
Sure.
And a rear-wheel drive setup like this Pursuit?
It's quite some polar opposites.
Yeah.
So this is a Dodge all-wheel drive system utilizing the transfer case, like we said. The Jeep Renegade is a great comparison to show the polar ends of the spectrum. So it's a front drive based system, but it's also one of our newest versions. It's a disconnecting system. So when four-wheel drive is not necessary, it will disconnect and just drive the front wheels only, complete two-wheel drive mode.
Is that for fuel economy?
Exactly,
so
for fuel
economy.
Yeah,
there's fuel economy, better mileage.
Less friction, less parasitic losses when you're on the highway at speeds where all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive in that case wouldn't be beneficial.
You felt that launch, setting power front and rear allowed you to take off very fluidly.
There we go, drifting, and the power cut.
Drifting and so yeah, you notice you gave it a lot of steering input.
Yeah.
So at that point we know that the car's not going where you want it to, so let's help you out.
Yeah, and that's when the brake brain decided, all right, we're gonna cut power, we're gonna brake the left wheel so that the car comes back into the alignment with the steering wheel. Yeah, it makes it like I say, it makes it less fun, but certainly much more safe.
So the Renegade is very sophisticated. It's got a PTU that can fully disconnect and a wet clutch in the rear, and it's a new architecture. We didn't follow what we had done on previous models like the Jeep Cherokee. The Renegade is in the active drive is a 2,000 Newton meter system. In active drive low, you get that same 2,000 Newton meters, plus you get a 20-to-1 crawl ratio for off-roading.
There we go, sand mode. That's all it takes, huh?
That's it.
That's all you need. And we got the power wagon out of the way. So let's try. So what's the algorithm saying now in sand mode?
So it's going to allow a little bit more tire slip.
Oh yeah, you can feel it. Yeah,
it's dramatic, and that's one of the niceties of having some kind of select train control or any other.
Oh, you should have told me about this. It's much more fun. Now we're flying. Look at that. A little bit of.
It's also going to allow. It'll provide yaw correction later.
Yep.
So as you start to rotate the car, it will allow you to get further into trouble.
Yeah. It's a little bit more frisky. So remember, guys, if you get one of these cars, sand mode. That's the way you want to go if you're thinking about actually doing a little bit of friskiness out here on the frozen tundra of Montreal. So obviously, depending on the vehicle, you've got different needs, right? In terms of traction. So in this, you're going to be mainly on the street. You don't need a lower ratio. You don't need Dana's whereas on some of the Jeep products you do. How do you approach that? Is it just based on the vehicle type? Then you customize the all-wheel drive system to it?
Yeah, we want to have a system that gives our customers a system that's suitable for what their needs and demands are. If they want to be able to drive with confidence on slushy roads, we have all-wheel drive systems for them. If they want the ability to go off-road, we can give them a Jeep four-wheel drive system. And if they want some more severe duty, we can get into one of the trail-rated Jeep offerings. So it depends on the model, depends on the level of the system that we want to put in. Jeep Cherokee offers 3 levels that demonstrate exactly that. Active Drive 1 for someone who may drive on muddy roads or snowy surfaces. Active Drive 2 for someone who might want to pull a trailer, get some great ability out of their vehicle.
I'm putting on my Jeep hat because I'm freezing. Are you okay?
I have an invisible Jeep hat.
Are you okay?
And then we have Active Drive Lock, and that's for the enthusiast that wants to go off-road, take their vehicle off-road and push the limits. Maybe get to places where they wouldn't have been able to get to with one of our other offerings.
There's got to be a traction control off button.
There is. It should be by your left knee.
Okay, all right. You didn't want to tell me that, huh? You were scared. There's nothing by my left knee, dude.
I'm sorry, right here.
All right,
There's your off.
All right, so we're turning it off.
Disabled.
Now we're disabled. Let's see what it does. What will it do?
It will. It's still going to intervene on the stability control items. It will let you go a little further.
Let's see. This is a dangerous turn.
But as you come back and you straighten out, it's not going to want to correct for the traction control. So it's basically turning off less of the traction. So if you were stuck and you want to spin the tires, that gives you the ability to let the tires spin.
It feels like it's still on, basically. You can feel it intervening when I'm going around these turns.
It's just the point of intervention.
Yeah. How does the system know, when to cut power? We were talking about that last night. You said really the brake controller is the smartest part of the car, right? It kind of takes everything and kind of figures out what the car should be doing.
It's in essence the controller.
Okay.
So the controller of the other controller. So what we want, say a Chrysler 200, where we want to offer a sport mode for the guy or person that wants to push the car and drive in a sporty fashion, test the limits of lateral tire patch and acceleration. We will try to use the all-wheel drive system first to give the cornering ability to the car. And then there's certain calculations we do, but once we get to a certain limit, then we take control and help maneuver the car and apply the brakes. But with the sporting setups, especially with the 200, we want to use torque to steer the car. We don't want to use the brakes, which are robbing that same torque. So the algorithm, if you will, as an overview, is use torque, and then once we get to a point where we think we need to assist the driver, then come in with the braking system.
Now, a lot of companies outsource or buy this technology, right? Haldex is a supplier of many all-wheel drive systems. Are the systems that you have proprietary to FCA and the algorithms, or are they something that are bought aftermarket?
Hardware depends on what the system is. Sometimes we'll have a supply agreement and something would be exclusive to us. The algorithms are something that we jointly develop. A lot of times we need to say, because we need to have an algorithm that's specific and tuned to the vehicle. Our Chrysler vehicles don't have the same feel as our Jeep vehicles. And different modes, as you get into select terrain in our Jeep lineup, as we have distinctive modes for sport, sand and mud, or snow, we want those to be contoured to the vehicle, to the mass and physics of the actual car.
What's the best towing truck in the land? That is a really simple question, and one that we're going to answer at the first annual TFL Truck Gold Hitch Awards. That's right. Coming in April, we're going to find out which of the trucks in 4 classes, yes, light duty, heavy duty, and midsize, and of course large SUV, can tow the best. So other channels may have most fun cars, may have some kind of engineering thing. Not here. We're going to find out what's the best towing truck in the land, and that is coming up on April 8th. It's going to be called the TFL Truck Gold Hitch Award, and guess what? We're going to live stream it so you can find out when we find out.